ECG has gone to cut power to the Wager water treatment plant. Indeed, ECG has decided that they are on an aggressive revenue mobilization drive, and that means that anybody owes them. Now, I couldn't understand how Ghana Water Company can owe ECG $1 billion cedis. And we're going to first bring you some of the highlights of those interviews. I want to just touch on some of those things. We always bash ECG, and we say ECG is the weakest link in the power sector. So now they've decided that they are not going to joke around. So they're going to cut GBC. You say GBC owes them 8 million. 8 million. They've gone to cut Ghana Waters, many of their places, owing $1 billion cedis. A number of government institutions also owe ECG as well. And I'm not even sure where to take the discussion from. And then they also went to an estate, and they said that estate had about 80 houses. Many of them were illegally connected. All right? I don't understand what's going on. So how does this happen? ECG has been in the news for a lot of things.
You do know that power theft under our laws is a criminal offense.
Yeah.
And the state has the authority to prosecute for conduct like that. What we have not seen done aggressively from the viewpoint of the managers of the power space and working with the Attorney General's Department is the vigorous prosecution of people who are caught doing that. And in some cases, the granting of amnesty for people who know they are doing that to willingly come forward and regularize what they are doing. That's why you remember when the government announced this new levy, which they have now decided to freeze. I said that, look, there are so many inefficiencies within the system. The losses that we have seen, we continue to see. If we are able to reduce those, then most likely we will not even need these levies to actually continue to buy fuel to power the badges that we have to generate power. So if indeed the estates we're talking about, the allegation is that they did ABCD, there has got to be an investigation. And if they are found to have done that, they should be dealt with. Now, the state agencies.
What I wanted you to touch on was the water treatment plant, because I felt it's a bit heavy-handed, right? Because they are producing water for people to drink. So if you go and cut their power, how are they going to produce the water?
Okay, so there are two issues here. You know, recently the government announced that going forward, they were going to absorb the bills of some ministries or all ministries. And some government institutions. And the cabinet took that decision. Now the question is, at the time of taking that decision, were they aware of the state of the bills owed by Ghana Water Limited to ECG? Of course, I cannot be asking for ECG to go for its bills and ensure that everybody pays, while at the same time saying that they should cut, Ghana Water Company Limited some slack. Because the fact is, they produce water and they sell the water to us. Is it the case that they are producing at high cost and selling at a cost that is not optimal, that is not even allowing them to break even?
Nobody knows.
So I think there has got to be some explanation as to how come $1 billion Ghana cedis is owed over what period to ECG.
Seriously.
And what would be the justification for that level of, should I use it,
indebtedness?
Because it doesn't make sense. Every month I pay my water bill. They bring it and I pay it. I do know that, again, in that space too, a lot of people are drinking water free of charge. You see waste on the roads almost every day. But we do know that over the last few months or the last few years, anytime you call a water company that, hey, there's a problem here, they go there and they fix it. But there are still, you see leakage coming in from a number of places all the time. The question is, how come $1 billion Ghana cedis is owed to ECG? Can they audit the numbers? Is it the case that they have collected the money and they forgot to pay?
I don't even know.
There has got to be some intervention to deal with that particular problem. And I don't want to believe that they are preparing our minds to raise utility prices again. Because normally, Bernard, as you do know, anytime they come out and say, oh, there's this debt here, or there's that here, there's this here, there's that here, then before you know it, then the PURC is announcing that, oh, in view of A, B, C, D, and mind you, fuel prices are likely to go up because of what's happening in the Middle East. So very soon you hear that, because of the cost of input and all of that, we may have to pay a little more for utilities. So I think there has got to be an investigation
into the matter,
and there should be a way of dealing it so that it doesn't disrupt our supply, water supply.
I know. Yes, it was as if yesterday it was the companies trying to outdo each other. Ghana Water also went to some estates in cantonment and said the people have been using water for the past, I don't know how many days, years, and they had not been paying. That they had been stealing water. That they had connected their pipes to the Ghana Water connection and they had not been paying. So I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of dishonesty in the society and there's also inefficiency as well. So for me, they should find money and pay because we pay. So somebody should be taking it for free. All right, so let's hear from the acting general manager in charge of operations at ECG, Ismail Tete Oku, explaining why the ECG has had to cut power to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the Ghana Water Company.
Ghana Water, they are owing, and we've given them ample time to, and they are not complying. So we're forced to put them off.
So you put off the power that you supply to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation today?
Yes.
Is it the office that we know on the Ring Road?
Yes, and then we've also put off the transmitting stations at the Jankote.
Oh, so the transmission station on the mountains, you supply power to that, and you also supply power to them at Reach on the Ring Road in Accra, and you shut both down.
That's correct. That's correct.
What was the amount involved, and how long or how much notice did you give to them?
Oh, we've given them enough notice, and the amount for GBC is over 8 million. And that of Ghana Water is 999 million Ghana cedis.
8 million for GBC accrued within what period? 1 year, 5 years, 1 month? When?
Oh, it's over. This is a long-standing arrears.
And is it the case that they have not been paying, or they've been paying, but the amount they pay is not enough? Because I do know that you do allow customers to pay in bits. So what have been the plan? How long have you
GBC, we've gone to terms with them severally. They've not complied with. And the same with Ghana Water. We start with them. We had an arrangement. They defaulted. We gave them a final demand notice. They did not comply. And so for Ghana Water, what we've done is we've disconnected their headquarters and all the administrative officers, except the pumping stations that we have not disconnected, because we're looking at the interest of the general masses as well. Once we put off the pumping stations, what it means is that the nation will not have water. So we are doing it considering all the necessary point as well.
So
in fact, we are not happy to disconnect any customer, but when they need be, we are forced to do that.
The earlier communication we received was that you had disconnected the wager treatment plant. That is not true?
That is not true.
But you have disconnected the head office of Water Company?
Yes, because management of Ghana Water, they are in charge to ensure that payments are effected.
Okay. Now, you are saying that Ghana Water Company is 1 billion, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation...
No, not 1 billion. 999.6 million Ghana cedis, close to 1 billion.
I decided to round it up for you so it will be easy to pronounce.
Wonderful.
Okay, so almost 1 billion. Is it the case that if they do not pay, you are not going to reconnect them? That's the point, or there's some negotiation that can be had?
Okay, this is what we have done as a company. We've gone to terms with them, and as of 31st of May, we were expecting Ghana Water to pay 72 million Ghana cedis, which we've all agreed that they've not complied to. And so it is not like we are taking the 999.6 million Ghana cedis from them today, but we are expecting that they pay the 72 million Ghana cedis so that we'll be able to restore power. And we expect that on monthly basis, as we've agreed, they pay the 72 million Ghana cedis.
All right. So if they don't, then they will remain shut. And the same with GBC.
Yes, so far as I'm concerned, until I'm directed to do otherwise.
Okay. The two institutions, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Ghana Water Company, they are state institutions, they are national security institutions, if you consider it properly. Are there no exceptions in this your campaign?
Okay, there are exceptions. Don't also forget that Electricity Company of Ghana is also a national security institution. Without lights, I don't think we will be able to survive in the country. And so we have done all that we can. And we've done this in consultation with the sector ministers. So there is some level of agreement, and we believe, and they also know that they are in a position to honor their obligations. And it's not like we are forcing in on them. We sat on a table and we agreed. And so we were expecting that they play their side of the bargain.
I see. So what next? Where else are you targeting?
Like I said, we are everywhere. We are everywhere. We are everywhere.
And so this exercise will continue tomorrow?
Yes. We're on it. We're on it. In fact, the all hands on board will last for 2 weeks.
Very well. Thank you so much.
But I know we're standing prior to this exercise. We have teams in the districts and the regions who are also working. So after the 2 weeks, we'll continue to work.
So, points of information: the wager treatment plan has not been disconnected. It's the head office of the ECG of the Ghana Water Company that has been. So I think that's clear, because that would have been a bit concerning.
Yeah, but how would that affect the processing of bills and related matters?
It's not as serious as not people having water.
Yeah, that is great. I don't know whether they have put in emergency measures to deal with the likely impact of the lack of power on the operations, unless, of course, they have standby generators, which they should ideally have to deal with situations like this. But 1 billion is a lot of money.
999.6 million cedis.
How much is that in US dollar terms? That's about.
If you take a billion cedis, I don't know. I think 1/10 of whatever. So probably $100,000.
No, 100 million.
$100 million.
That's
yes.
a lot of money.
Yes, that's a lot of money. I'm not sure how they accumulated. And by the way, we haven't heard from Ghana Water, so we don't know if they agree with the amount. You can be told you owe, but you don't really know.
Yes.
I think the way our parastatals are run is a challenge, because the automatic pricing formula doesn't take into cognizance a lot of things. So our bills, even if they collect all, may not be enough to cover their costs. So you're always running an institution that is bleeding. Because, if, for example, the cost of fuel goes up to power your plant as ECG, you'll not be able to raise your tariff to meet that, because there's an automatic adjustment formula that takes into cognizance inflation and all kinds of things. You get me? And your power sources are all mixed. You are getting power from, from hydro, you're getting power from... It's I don't know. We've not... And so even this levy that they've suspended, it's all part of it, because you cannot raise the tariff to the point where it pays for itself. In fact, the amount they want to raise from the D-levy, if they applied it to tariff, will be paying 50% more. And even this one, people are not paying. And illegal connections, so...
That is where they should deal with ruthlessly.
But the people who are doing some of their own people are part too.
That's true.
Because I don't know how to manage a meter. I don't know how to connect. So for somebody to do illegal connection, they will need
someone within.
They work with some.
Yeah, there's definitely people in the system.
Either electricity or Ghana Water Company.
Because you can go and climb electric pole.
No, I won't do that.
But somebody has been trained to do it for ECG. Maybe he's the one helping people to do it.
Oh yeah, that is true. I mean, a lot of them either know something about the system or actually work with the system. The ECG also relies extensively on external contractors. They have external contractors who they direct to go and do these things for them. So it's not like their own staff.
Okay.
So because they understand the system and because some citizens always want to cut corners, then they call them to come and do some of these things. Do the illegal connection for them. You find something for them, because ECG doesn't go around. What do you call it? Looking for, like inspecting every house. Okay, is your meter properly connected? That is an issue. Bernard, when I was in the UK, I never had any opportunity to go to the power distributor to say, come and check anything for me. You have an app. You buy the power online. There are times they ask you to go to the meter. They want to audit your consumption. They want to know whether things are proper. You go to the meter, you take photograph, and then you submit it. And then they will use that to check whether things are working properly or not. Here, previously, we're using people to go around to collect the bills. So you distribute the bills, and then you collect for last month. Even that, corrupt Ghanaians were compromising that system. So the people will come, and then they will tell, oh, no, this one is 10,000, but because, okay, let me collect just 5,000. Then he will pocket some and take the rest to the people. I think if we have honesty as a core principle of what drives what we do as a people, majority of the times, we wouldn't have these problems.
Just to cut in, I still get bills from Ghana Water for my former residence. I no longer live
And
there.
yet they still send it to you.
Every month.
Which means somehow
send me
they've
a
not.
bill.
So is it that the new person has not?
It's not most likely not paying.
No. So does that mean that
And I don't pay.
they've not registered the new person's address to the place or what? Just because
understand what you mean.
you are in the system, you've left the house,
I've
somebody
left
else
it,
has
yes.
moved there. Either that person has not
Be
put their
registered into the system.
or
it's
ECG
not
has
paid.
forgotten that maybe the person could have, I don't know, and there's nobody tracking that this lady hasn't.
It's not efficient.
Charlie, it's a whole. I don't know.
There's a place in Belingpe. Every single day there's water coming out of that space. I don't know whether
And when you pass there, you know.
there are people who line up and then they are collecting. Every dawn they go there and they are fetching.
And this
the
is
water.
like an open place,
yeah, so, like close to the road.
maybe like a hydrant,
Yeah, something like that.
and people go and fetch water.
That's
there.
when no, you are not buying it though. Every day that anytime I pass the at dawn, they are there collecting the water.
With bottles or with what?
With gallons and gudugba and all of these things. Who is paying for that?
Well, that's how come they can't pay.
Bernard, if Ghana Water Limited spent $1 billion on solar power, could they not go sufficiently off grid?
If they had 1 billion, they wouldn't be in this situation. If they had 1 billion, trust me, they would not be owing. So it's easier said than done.
Togbi Kachanakbo. He's sending a message from Lakeside Estate at Shalibotre. Please,
Okay.
does ECG pay for ECG power usage?
That's a question that I don't have an answer for.
I joined you there.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know. As in an easy, but why even asking? Who they make
Maybe
you
they
for
owe
pay?
themselves